I've been feeling kind of nostalgic recently. I miss the good old days of worldwide recession. And nothing takes me quite back like the Wii. The Wii's kind of old now, and that means so am I. And there's only one way to deal with that fact. Admittedly, the Wii was kind of a fad. After the N64 and GameCube failed to beat the PlayStation 1 and 2, Nintendo, with its new leadership under Satoru Iwata, decided a new strategy. Let's just use gimmicks. The DS was already selling like hotcakes. Nintendo then announced their next home console that would follow suit, codenamed the Revolution, which they then renamed to the Wii, a decision which has baffled everyone to this very day. Instead of making it more powerful like the PS3 and Xbox 360, they just overclocked the GameCube, which let them sell it for $250 instead of $599 US. Instead of HD graphics, they instead focused on the controller, the Wii Remote. It was motion sensitive. Wow, you could shake the controller and the game would respond. This was a big deal. And with a new hardware concept like that, you need to introduce the world to it with a game to make them understand. And that's when Wii Sports came in. Ah yes, Wii Sports. I haven't played this in a very long time actually. I lost my original copy like a decade ago. I had to buy a new one. I think this little game is what sold so many Wiis. It came packed with the system and it got people to understand motion controls perfectly. I mean, you'd see the commercials where the Japanese businessmen show up in the smart car and they say, "We would like to play," to a family, and you just got it. You wanted to have as much fun as these people. Who didn't want to play video games with random Japanese businessmen? Even Grandma could understand the appeal of the Wii and Wii Sports. The system became huge in nursing homes. But mostly it was families who just wanted something to do together. You didn't need to be a hardcore gamer to play Wii Sports. So it's time to see if the hype still holds up. Probably not, but it's always nice to go back. It's pretty mind-blowing to load it up again and seeing there's only 5 different games. And most of them are pretty simple. This is the game that caught the world by storm, but you gotta take baby steps when introducing something like motion controls. Gotta keep it simple. And this game did come free with the Wii anyway, so it doesn't have to be huge. These 5 games were enough. So we got tennis, baseball, bowling, golfing, and boxing. So let's just go through them in order. This game uses Miis, which were also a pretty new idea at the time. Look, it's literally me. Yeah, I seem to be doing kinda well. I'm just flailing the controller around though. That's what it came down to with the Wii controller at times, unfortunately. Just flailing it around like an idiot. I don't actually know the rules of tennis, unfortunately. I don't know what the hell a love is, but it looks like I won. Remember, 90% of life is achieving through ignorance. Next up is baseball, which I do know the rules to. Because I'm American and this is America's pastime. Although I'd say it's more of Japan's pastime now. America is a lot more into football. And I don't think Nintendo quite understands football, judging from Splatoon 2. So you're supposed to hold the controller as you would an actual baseball bat. Except I can't seem to hit anything. Or at least I'm not hitting anything that well. I think it would be easier to hit an actual baseball. Yeah, this isn't going very well. Damn. Well, I can throw it a bit more easily. Although you always have to be careful not to accidentally throw your controller at your TV. But then again, I do have a CRT. I think the controller would lose in this case. I don't need that Wii controller jacket either. I mean, who wants to slap rubber protection on their, never mind. Shit. Damn. What sucks is you can only hit or throw. You have no control over the field at all. It's all automatic. I guess they wanted to keep the games pretty casual. Maybe there should have been a hard mode though. Otherwise it's up to the AI to play for you, and you know how dependable that can be. Well, next up is my personal favorite, bowling. I like bowling in real life, and I like bowling here. Oops. Yeah, bowling is clearly the best part of this game because I'm decent at it. Golf! Golf is alright. I used to be better at this, I swear. I think this is the most complex game of the bunch. You gotta watch the wind current and you gotta charge your shots properly. I'm having a hell of a time trying to do that. Last up is boxing. You need the nunchuck accessory to play this game. The way the Wii controller worked was kinda disgusting to me. I mean, it's barely functional for regular games, and you need an accessory to use an analog stick? Luckily, they got this whole design problem sorted out with the Switch Joy-Cons, which are motion sensitive like the Wii Remote, but you can slot them into a grip and they can act like a normal controller. Anyway, boxing is pretty fun. You get to totally wail on your opponent. I think the AI is pretty easy, though that might be because I'm starting out as a beginner. Although that didn't help me in the other cases. Honestly, I'm doing myself a disfavor by playing by myself. This is a party game. You need to have a small group to have the most fun. If only I had friends. I guess that's a pretty basic overview of Wii Sports, but then again, it's a pretty basic game. They did make a sequel, Wii Sports Resort. I never played this one before, because by the time it came out, the motion control hype had worn off me. This one uses the Wii Motion Plus. I already had one because I wanted to play Skyward Sword, so we might as well take a look at Resort. This accessory is supposed to make the motion detection really precise. This game has a pretty interesting intro. You're skydiving onto an island. This is to help you get a feel for the Wii Motion Plus before you start the game. But again, you'll have the most fun by flailing the controller around. There's a bigger, more diverse list of games this time, and many of them have unlockable sub-modes. Already, I gotta say it's a pretty good sequel. It takes what made the first game great, expands on it, and makes it slightly more complicated. It's the Banjo-Tooie of video game sequels. Bowling is even better with the more precise motion controls. There's even a 100 pin mode, which I like a lot. It's super satisfying to see all these pins getting knocked down. Wii Sports Resort isn't the only game designed to leech off the popularity of the first game. There's a whole brand of Wii series games, like Wii Fit, which you might know from Super Smash Bros. There's also Wii Music! Good job, Miyamoto. I think they wanted to keep the gravy train rolling and keep that casual audience, but frankly I think most people only really cared when the Wii was brand new. I mean, they made a remake of Wii Sports for the Wii U. For that matter, they made the Wii U. I think the hype died down pretty quickly. Were you really that enthusiastic about motion controls by the end of the Wii's lifespan? Not really. They only really worked in Wii Sports and only Wii Sports. In most other games, they were really reaching to justify shaking the controller. The star spin in Super Mario Galaxy could have just been mapped to a button. Twilight Princess had a GameCube release and that worked just fine with the normal controller. In fact, it became more annoying to use motion controls than anything. Third parties were especially bad with this. Like in this Ninja Bread Man game. You shake the controller around to jump and attack. Why? Not that I was really expecting anything from one of the massive amounts of shovelware that the Wii attracted. Like Who Wants to Play Imagine Party Babies? Thanks, Ubisoft. In my opinion, Wii Sports was the only game that really used the Wii's technology that well. I mean, it had other great games, but did those games need to be motion sensitive to work? No. It was an interesting experiment, I guess, and it made Nintendo a lot of money. And in the end, isn't money all that matters? Hi, welcome to my end slate. I guess this is the part of the video where I tell you to like and subscribe or something like that. I guess I'm a hack fraud now, but this is what YouTube wants you to do, so whatever. Anyway, check out those links if you want to be horribly disappointed. And have a good day, I guess.